Roger was just a humble streamer with a basic computer setup that included a dual-core processor and only 4 GB of memory. Late into the night, he tapped at his keyboard with a dream of sharing stories, games, political thoughts, and bizarre ideas with anyone who would listen. What he didn't know was that through the flicker of his screen, he was opening a path into something far beyond the digital realm. He started small, gaining followers one stream at a time. His commentary ranged from light-hearted to insightful, and his audience grew steadily. But as his schedule filled with more gaming and discussion streams, Roger noticed things that didn't make sense. It began during a late-night session when he was streaming a haunted mansion sequence from a game. The corridors in the game were dim and the shadows moved as expected, until they didn't. Viewers commented on strange shapes in the corners of the screen. At first, Roger dismissed them, thinking it was just game detail, but soon, he saw it too. In one hallway, a dark silhouette stood still, something that didn't match any asset in the game's design. Then came the sound, faint clicking, like bones grinding against metal. Roger tried to ignore it, but the disturbances continued. It didn't matter if he was streaming gameplay, political debates, or storytelling episodes. The presence seemed to follow him from one platform to the next. While discussing outlandish theories on his series called The Wonderful World of Weirdness, something began whispering in the background of the stream. Viewers claimed they heard voices under the audio, repeating strange phrases. One of them said he dreamed of something crawling through his bedroom wall after watching a video called Weird Science. Roger was used to long hours and stress. Time management and determination had brought him this far. He had built his brand on consistent uploads and endless passion. But something was clearly changing. His chat rooms began filling with strange usernames, profiles with no photos and no history. These accounts typed messages that made no sense. Phrases like, "I am here," or "Your screen is my veil," would flash and then disappear. Roger thought it was trolling until he tried banning them and the messages remained, even though the accounts were gone. His editing software began acting strangely. While compiling videos for a playlist, new files appeared that he didn't create. These unnamed clips showed shadowed corridors or empty fields with a figure walking toward the camera. In some of them, Roger's own voice would play, distorted and echoing, speaking words he had never said. He tried deleting the files, but they returned after each reboot. The software itself seemed to resist him, locking up randomly. One day, he returned from a short break to find that his computer had created a single video file named, "You Are Next." The file opened by itself. It showed his live stream interface with a new feature, a blinking eye in the center of the screen. That I spoke. It used his own voice. It said his name. He froze. His viewers saw it too and flooded the chat with alarm. The eye blinked slowly, then said, "It is time." The feed went dead for a second and came back as if nothing happened. Roger sat in silence for several minutes before ending the stream early. When he checked the archived footage, the eye was gone. But every person who had watched it live remembered the same details, and they kept asking what had really happened. The next several days were worse. Roger tried to stream as usual, sticking to his upload schedule and balancing content across his many channels. But no matter what topic he covered, the signs returned. Electrical devices flickered, shadows moved in the background, and the audio picked up static voices whispering between his words. On one occasion, he swore he saw something tall and thin standing just outside the camera frame. Viewers posted screenshots that confirmed what he saw, a skeletal figure with long limbs standing still, its eyes blank and wide. Then came the night he streamed Weird Science again. A storm raged outside. The power flickered as he went live, but he pressed on. Within minutes, the screen broke into static. Then, it cut to a view no one could explain. Behind Roger appeared a vast desert, with black sand dunes stretching toward a burning green sky. A translucent figure stood alone in that landscape, gazing at a crumbling city in the distance. The viewers panicked. The chat exploded with disbelief. When Roger turned around to look behind him, the scene vanished. All he saw was his office wall. But the stream had recorded it. People uploaded the footage to forums and clip sites. Some reported feeling cold or nauseated after watching it. Others claimed they could see patterns in the sky above the dunes, symbols rotating in ways that defied explanation. Roger stopped streaming for nearly a week. His community worried. Then, without warning, he returned. He uploaded a video titled Earth. It was 3 hours long, with no introduction and no commentary. Viewers who sat through it reported similar effects. The black dunes returned, and so did the skeletal figure. At one point in the video, a pool of water reflected Roger's face, but instead of eyes, there were deep voids, empty and silent. Every time someone replayed the video, that final frame changed. Some saw the figure walking. Some saw numbers or markings in the sand. But no one ever saw the same image twice. When Roger streamed again, it was meant to be his farewell. He said nothing for over an hour. He stared at the camera. Behind him, shadows danced as if moved by wind, though no window was open. Near the end of the stream, Roger blinked slowly, then looked away. When he looked back, his eyes were gone, replaced by static. The stream ended. No one heard from Roger again. His accounts remained online, untouched. His videos still drew new viewers, many of whom claimed they saw things in the background that weren't there before. Some said they had dreams of standing alone in the dunes beneath the green sky. Others found themselves drawn to old archives of his work, where new phrases began to appear in the subtitles. One message repeated often, "You are next." Today, his website is still up. Visitors can browse old streams, watch highlights, and read his backstory. The live chat is empty, but the page continues to update, even though no one runs it. Some people still believe Roger is alive. Others think he was taken. A few believe he crossed into the realm behind the eye, the one with no exit, where content is no longer entertainment but a ritual for something far older than anyone can imagine. And that, you say, is why you should never ignore strange flickers in your stream, odd shapes in your video frames, or quiet voices on your headset. Sometimes, the stream is not just a stream. Sometimes, it is a doorway. And if you open it, you might never come back.